Hello, viewers around the world. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. This is Talking Drums. Talking Drum for global audience. Talking Drum Schengen Story Media Production is our program where we um, look into issues together, reason things together, and give the audience the best choice to decide to look into whatever it is and decide on which side of your opinions could matter. And today, the 11th of April 2023, we are back with Talking Drums. Talking Drums. My colleagues and co-hosts are not here with me, but before they join them, I'll be giving some background discussion to what we'll be looking together with. Um, as you all know, a lot of things happen within a short space of time. News develop every minute. News, something is happening, and we can't give all the news, but we take some of the most vital ones and discuss with ourselves. And one of such vital news coming from our country, Nigeria, Talking Drum looks into issues globally, but mainly for the Nigerian audience in the diaspora. So one news that is making wave in the Nigerian news update is, like you all know, let me give you a background story to this now. Nigeria, the Federal Republic of Nigeria, one of its major source of income is selling crude oil. So Nigeria has large deposits, large, I mean real large deposits of crude oil. And we know that crude oil is an essential mineral the world needs. A lot of people need it for so many things. Now, that the sale of that crude oil in Nigeria is really not transparent. It's not transparent. It's not. It's very shabby. Very. There are some shady deals going behind the sale of that crude oil. So in the year 2015, a certain whistleblower came out and said that there is oil theft going on, and about $2.4 billion in revenue was being made out from illegal sales of millions and millions of barrels of crude oil coming from Nigeria. This was in 2015. Now, take note that we've been selling oil since the discovery of oil in Nigeria in the late 70s to 80s. So we've not really had very transparent record of that whole transaction going on. But at this point in time, in 2015, this whistleblower said this. So what this also means is, in the previous years, there have been shady deals selling the crude oil, Nigerian crude oil that we export. So in 2015 was a major highlight of that illegal transaction, and it was brought to light. $2.4 billion of revenue was coming out from the sale of the oil. So this is part of what we're discussing today, and I'm happy to have my co-host here, George Chukwu. Sir George Chukwu, you're welcome to Talking Drums.
Well, thank you so very much, and thank you, Massive Mark, and the viewers around the world. I want to welcome you to this show today. It's going to be a beautiful one indeed. And this is one of those shows where we beat the drum beat of everything that has been stolen from you, from the political arena to the social arena to all over. So we're here to beat that drum beat so that you will understand disenfranchising you from political system and stealing what belongs to you as an inheritance is your natural mandate to recover everything that they have stolen from you. It is no longer about them and us. It is us together. And we must choose the ones that we want to send up there and those If they don't do right, you remove them. It's no longer
Nice.
forcing you to accept somebody they put on you. So it is your natural civil right to say, it belongs to me, you're not doing well, we're going to remove you. So I just want to welcome you to the show today. It's going to be a beautiful one. Thank you so much.
Yes, a beautiful one indeed, George. Thank you. That was a good intro. Very good one, George. We just started, and I was giving a small background story to what we're looking into, and I was talking of the oil, the crude oil theft. I gave a background story to Nigeria and the crude oil. Like we know, Nigeria is into the major source of income for the country is exporting crude oil. Now, in 2015, a certain whistleblower, we are keeping his name on the down low. This whistleblower came out and said $2.4 billion of that our crude oil that is our shared prosperity. 2.4 of that crude oil, $2.4 billion from that crude oil sale, illegal sale anyway, has gone under the rug, under the carpet, you know. And this man blew this whistle. The Nigerian government took it on, and today, as we speak, there's actually a ad hoc committee that's supposed to be sitting and talking about this, but they are not talking about it. The key officers that represents the Federal Republic of Nigeria didn't come to that meeting. The minister, the secretary to the federal government, the finance minister, all these are key officers that should come and give an account how come $2.4 billion of Nigerian export currency has no record, no trace. So they didn't come to court today. They were supposed to be in the House of Rep to talk about this, but they didn't come, Dr. Sir George. And to top it all, nobody has said anything about this from the federal government. And this is our shared prosperity. So how come we are living in a country where some people hold on to shared prosperity, the wealth of the country, and they make it like their personal property? Sir George.
Well, it stems from the fascist type of dictatorship government that we have had in the past, where the military can come as a commander-in-chief, dictate the way he wants things, and let it be that way. If not this way, it's my way or the highway, and nobody can say anything. So after that, we were, being transformed into democracy, which I still call a sham. I call it European and Western world propaganda in the third world countries in order to hold people, into order. So they say, we're going to give you democracy. But yet, democracy is a sham in our country. See what we just saw a few weeks ago in our election. So what it is that some of these military men have changed their clothes from the khaki clothes to civilian clothes, and they still acting that way. They still have that military mindset. They don't understand, the essence of democracy and the three arms of government. They don't understand it. The commander-in-chief will come and say, "Oh, we're not going to, the money, the recoloration of naira is going to go this way." And then another arm of the government from the judiciary gives another order, and they're respecting one another. Is that democracy? That's not democracy. So what you're seeing here, you're not seeing a lot of these people appear in court. Why is that? Because this has been the way it has been for the longest. Stealing our money, stealing our oil money. Let me tell you something that they did. They put it together, a system of selling our regular oil in the open market. And that is only about 30 to 40% of the crude oil that we drew from that country.
That's correct.
So what happened to the rest? the 60 to 70%, what happens to where is the money going? Because there is no way a ship will arrive in Nigerian ports without the authorities knowing about it. From the from the marine authority to the military authority. So these are the things that they have been doing. So this oil, these people that they just caught the other day, the Indian sailors that came to buy oil from Nigeria, this has been the regular thing. So the question you have to ask yourself is this: some of these individuals that are bringing billions of naira and pounds and dollars, where do they get that money from? So you have to understand that this has been something that has been done for the longest. Let me tell you something. They will make a scapegoat out of the people that are bunkering oil in River State and in other Bayelsa or other places. And they will say, oh, we're fighting oil theft. The main theft is about 70% of the oil we sell in the international world is being stolen by our government, known to them by the people who are operating these things. There is no question about that.
Okay, listen to this.
Let me tell you something. Some of these agitators that you have seen that has been crying from the river side and the Bayelsa side, some of them are sitting pretty. Why is that? Because what you call Ghana must go bags of money are being delivered to them to shut their mouth so that they will not agitate anymore. And the little money they're giving to the chiefs and the leaders of these places, they are using it for their own purposes, not for the general masses that are suffering, the oil spills and everything that is happening in their places. They are the least educated in Nigeria. Why is that? Yet we're drilling their oil, sending in international markets, and using it for the whole entire nation. And as a matter of fact, look at what has been done in the past 8 years. And I will actually say 16 years, because it was done under Jonathan and then being done under Buhari, who came to fight corruption in Nigeria. What are we doing? What are we saying to the masses, to the children, young people that have gone to college, universities, graduated, no jobs, insecurity all over the place? And what are we doing? All we're doing is protecting our own pockets and leaving these children, these young people, so vibrant, the most intelligent group of young people in the whole entire world, to languish unnecessarily. And we're talking about fighting crude oil theft. That nonsense is less than 0.000% of what the government is stealing, legally stealing, and selling in the black market. So what they're reporting is the only thing that they sell in the open market that goes through that system that they have formed. But the major part of this oil is being drilled and sold in the market. The ones that are being transported from the sources of where the oil is coming from all the way to Kaduna, what is happening? Who is reporting how that oil is being sold?
Yes. So what happened is that there's a committee. There's a committee called Civil Society Organization. Yes, it's an organization. Now, these people are claiming that there are some international gang of blackmailers that have some real strong information on how our oil is being sold and how the money, the cash flows. So, but on the other side, the House Committee on Oil, the House Committee on Oil is saying something else. So what we see is, first of all, NNPC that claims to have, that is a body that should be in charge of oil sale, oil distribution, and all this, everything about our crude oil. NNPC doesn't have a well-structured arrangement. It's not transparent. It's not well arranged, and anybody can get away with anything crude oil in Nigeria because things are so shabbily done, like we've been saying.
It's not shabbily done, Massive Mark.
Okay.
It is well orchestrated with NNPC in the loop of everything that is going on. It's two different markets going on. The one that is legal the one that is illegal.
Yeah.
They know it all. They are all involved. So the point about it is this sham democracy they're talking about, putting those House of Representatives to do, is absolute nonsense. You're not going to get anything out of that. All of them are in the same bunch. These are crooked people.
All of them are
So,
in support.
it's what you call, the Indians call it shine face. They'll come and bring all these people, and then they will slap somebody in the hand. But the main deal is still going on a daily basis. Ships are landing. And those people that you are putting there to say, oh, listen, oh, go and check the oil waters to make sure that nobody is bunkering or stealing crude. They know who to allow to come. And they know who to let go.
So in any way, we here in Talking Drums, we think these issues are so vital to Nigerians. We can't have shared property, shared prosperity, shared wealth, and no account is given on this wealth, the way it's been managed. Nothing. And when some people blow whistle and say, "Look what is happening," the ministers, the officers in charge, don't even follow up. Today in the House of Rep, they invited, like I said, all these officials, the Minister of Finance, the Secretary General to the of the Federation, that's Boss Mustafa, and some other key officers, but none of them showed up. And these issues are important. We need to know how these issues are going. We need to have clear understanding of how the management of our wealth, that is for all of us, Nigeria. God deposited that thing for the benefit of Nigerians as a whole. So a group of people should not be using it to their own benefit and living out. Like you said, where this thing is being extracted from, the people there are dying of all kinds of deforestation, dying of oil spillage in their community. Plants can't grow, live in squalor, they live in poverty, and the wealth that is coming from that region is used for other people. Other people are enjoying it. So it's time we stop this very reckless maltreatment of humanity, of people, and do things right. George, is this my last take on this issue?
I was just
go ahead,
to one of
George.
the things. He said the committee in February had accused the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, Abubakar Malami, as well as as Interpol, on what is described as interference in the committee's investigation. So, if the AGF is interrupting the investigation, and the one that is in charge of the Interpol is also interrupting the investigation, the committee questioned why a whistleblower would be invited by Interpol on the request of the Ministry of Justice, just after the commencement of the investigation of the House. So what you're seeing in all these things is, now listen to me, without anybody knowing about it, they have continued for so many years, without any interruption. Some of the people that had a little clue of what was going on. Now, you see, what was just discovered lately or recently was where you see the legal pool of oil going through somewhere legally, they create another avenue where some of that oil will be transported or deviated to another angle. And these are the ones that are being sold illegally in the black market. And billions of dollars are being made. Let me tell you something, whether we like it or not, let the truth be told. From top to bottom in the government, they know about these things. They know about it.
So let the truth be told. Let the truth be told. We need answers. We need to know what is going on with the oil sale, Nigerian or crude oil sales, and the federal government needs to be transparent. So that's our final word on Talking Drum. Yes, viewers listening to us, this is Tuesday, 11th of April, 2023, and we are hitting the drum on this show, a show called Talking Drum. Talking Drum is a show where we discuss issues, everything as it concerns us as human beings, as Africans, as Nigerians, and it's a show for the global audience. Now, George, we have they have the other half of our minute. Something very serious has been happening since Friday. We have this great woman in Nigeria, a novelist, and now also an international icon. And she's also a chief in her village. 45-year-old Madame Chimamanda.
Chimamanda
Chimamanda,
Ngozi
yeah,
Adichie.
Adichie.
Yes,
Chimamanda
yes.
Adichie on Thursday last week precisely wrote a very strong book. She wrote
A
a
letter,
sorry,
open letter
um,
to the
yeah, a
Buhari
letter,
government.
an open letter.
Mhm.
Yes, an
To
open letter to President Biden and
Biden.
to Canadian Prime Minister too, where you are, your Prime Minister
Mhm.
too.
That's right.
She wrote this letter, and in this letter, she said a lot. She said a lot. Well, a breakdown of the letter is she gave reasons why President Biden made a mistake to call the so-called president-elect in Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and congratulated him and the people of Nigeria. So she gave her reasons why that congratulatory message shouldn't have been done. She also said the same thing to the Canadian Prime Minister. So, Nigerian-born author Chimamanda Adichie came up with a lot of statements in that letter. The letter was released on a newspaper called Atlantic Newspaper Online, and the letter was checking on a lot of things. Part of what she said was the election. A summary of what she said was the election, our last February 25th election, um, didn't live up to what you call democratic election. She said, and it looks as if America is only interested in stability of Africa and not in the democracy, not in things being done right. They're only interested in things being stable. Please don't fight, don't fight. But underneath that, some things are wrong. Some people are hot. Some people are not treated fair. George, what do you know about this letter from Chimamanda?
Well,
What do you know?
Chimamanda is one individual that speaks. She tells it like it is.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's not afraid of anybody.
Mm-hmm.
That's one bold young lady that can actually speak, and the world will listen, because she is not one of those that talks from the two sides of her mouth. She tells it, and because she got that access to some of these big people or these intellectuals and political elites around the world, she can tell it like it is. Now, what it is this: all of a sudden, you give us democracy, and you tell us this is the way the rule of law ought to happen. You send in troops of people to come and investigate and see that the election is fair and just and equitable. And yet they report back to you and tell you it doesn't meet the standard. And then you turn around and you want to congratulate the person while the case is still in court, it's not finished yet. And you see all the evidence of everything that was done that cannot even that make any intelligent individual to puke. And yet you're congratulating the person because half-baked democracy is good for Africa as long as there is peace. Is that what they are telling us? So now, what I believe that they should have done, and part of the reason why they're doing what they're doing, is simply because it's been that way for the longest. Nobody speaks up. Nobody educates the public what real, fair, and equitable election is. They now introduced this electronic type of system to upload the election, all the votes on time, and lied about it openly. And my question, by the way, let me ask those imams, because I'm kind of worried about what is really going on in our country. Is lying acceptable in certain religious groups where people can come with all impetus and lie openly and continue to lie as if there is No, nothing to nothing to be guilty about. That's what I'm asking. So now, all of a sudden, you congratulating this person, whether if it's from the White House or from Biden himself, it's still the same thing. You should have waited until the results are, when the government, the Justice Department, the Supreme Court says, okay, we are saying that this man is finally, he can go and become the president. Then you can congratulate him. Why are you doing it knowing that everything that was done was illegal and was not right? That's what she was talking
Why are
about.
you doing it? Okay, let me give some right. Let me read some lines in the letter. It says, "Open letter." Is there on the screen, George? Open letter to Mr. Justin James Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, and Mr. Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., President of the United States of America. Dear PM and President, and it says, Chimamanda seditious open letter to President Joe Biden, a case of extraterritorial
Politicking of a non-residential Nigerian
ethnocentric
American.
politicking of a non-residential Nigerian American, and it gives a background story to it, talking about herself. She was born in 1977, and she was born in Nigeria, in Enugu, but she lives in the United States, and she decides to write this note. So it goes on to give four major aspects of why she's writing the letter. Seditious elements of Chiamanda's letter, local standing of Chiamanda's letter, Chimamanda and the reckless undermining of judiciary process. So she goes through all the lengths. The giant called Nigeria will rise and never fall again. And she gives a conclusion to the letter. So what we see from the letter is that Chimamanda doesn't agree that the president-elect Tinubu was justly voted for, democratically voted for. But he rather, it was a sham between his party APC and the INEC, the body that arranged the election. So Chimamanda has written this letter, and it comes in a time also when the Minister for Information and Culture, our man Lai Mohammed, was also gave his own statement to what the LP presidential candidate was doing. And now Chimamanda has written this. So that's it. George, strong letter there. I don't know if you have
strong letter there that calls to the attention of these world leaders. Strong letter to them, because they like peace, which is good, because at the end of the day, the people that will die will be the common people. When they get out there, they will get shot, they will get killed, and the government will lie about it. So what we are seeing here is, they want peace, but peace at the expense of what? At what cost? What do you want peace when people are being disenfranchised? When youths are still out there at the age of 30 to 40, still living with their parents because there are no jobs? Do you want peace when the common man cannot even find any medical treatment for anything in Nigeria? When there is no money, even when you have money in your account, you can't even access that money? Do you want peace when there is insecurity all over the places? The roads are just battered and all messed up, and these people are coming and talking nonsense, talking out of their own stupid mouths and telling you that everything is okay in the country. Look at Lai Mohammed. Look at them. Look at them. Are these humans, or just are they subhumans, or what? I don't even understand it. Because when I'm listening to these people talk sometimes, I say, what world are they living in? Are they living in a bubble? You have no electricity in Nigeria because most of them are being provided, they have enough money that they steal from the coffers of the government in order to, have 24/7 gen burning in their houses. When they go out in the streets, they have military men surrounding them. So it doesn't matter to them the state of welfare in Nigeria. You're talking about death. Do you know how many people have died in Nigeria because they could not access their money, or they could not sell anything in the open market because nobody have cash and they don't have any portals for people to send money to them? Do you know how many people have died out of sicknesses because they couldn't even get money to buy their own medication? This is what you are facing in a country called the Giant of Africa. And these people are still parading themselves as if they are something when they have become nothing but fools around the world. These international people are laughing at them. But I say, and I say it again, the country belongs to everybody. I believe in civil disobedience when the government is not acting right. And I believe in massive revolution of civil disobedience. I believe in it. It is a constitutional right of every human living. So if they cannot fix it, we will help them fix it. And that's the key. So we need these international countries like America, like UK, Great Britain, like Canada. We need them to open up their voices and speak out against all this corruption. I know Nigeria is a sovereign nation, but yet we are trade allies with them. We don't want any trouble in our country. All we desire and need is good governance. Is there something wrong with that? Good governance? That the conversation and the conduct in our country will change? Is that such a bad demand? No, it is not. How can we be sitting, watching the election go, all of a sudden, the portals to upload the presidential vote was shut down. The rest of them are working. And you come and tell us that you're not going to disfranchise people. Oh, what's his name? Yakubu Mahmoud Yakubu. Talking. I mean, I don't understand. Are these people humans? Or are they demons in the flesh? They can come out and talk to the public, tell them what they want to hear, and then do something else, and tomorrow continue with the same narrative. What is going on in that country, for goodness sake?
Thank you very much. What's going on in that country? George, this is it. Talking drum. Talking drums today, we've looked into two vital news trending mainly in Nigeria. And we talked about the oil theft. We talked about the oil theft and the whistleblower allegations of millions and millions of barrels of oil, crude oil, that is being siphoned into private pockets instead of being used for shared prosperity of the citizen of Nigeria. We also have just talked about Chiamanda's Chiamanda's response to President Biden and Prime Minister Trudeau, and her reasons why they shouldn't have congratulated the so-called president-elect of Nigeria. So this is it, talking drum, and we've really hit the drum real hard. George, you always hitting the drums. You know how to hit the drums.
We know how to know. So, hitting the drums is telling the truth.
Yes, that's correct.
Not masking the truth. We don't have to hide under any cosmetic veil anymore, because people's lives are at stake. Thousands upon thousands of youths are trying to. Do you know how many of them have ventured to walk out of Nigeria and go through the trails of trying to make it to America or to Canada and have died on the road? Yes. Thousands. And these people called leaders in Nigeria are sitting pretty, doing their own thing, want to recycle government again and again and again. Emilakon is my choice. It's your choice to do what? You can't even walk. You're peeing in your pants and you're talking about, Buhari spent how many? 8 months, up to 1 full year, in the hospital. And then these people are now coming out to tell us, oh, part of the reason why he wasn't able to perform was simply because he was sick. Now you want to put another sick person for us? For who to govern? They couldn't even allow Osibanjo to take the role of the vice president while the man was away. And this is what you call a government in Nigeria? Who does that? Where is the constitution? Where is the rule of law in that country?
Where's the rule of law? Okay, George, this is why we need to be talking. We've had enough of this whole kind of arrangement, you know. Fela, a Nigerian musician, a great legend, Fela Nicola Kukuti once sang a song and he said, Padi Padi government. Padi Padi government we do. So Nigeria has been on that for so long, but it's time to change that. We can't have a government where a certain group of people just lord it over the rest, the millions, the other millions of people. So we want just government. We want transparency. We want real leadership with those leadership qualities that makes you carry people along, and not leading people because you think it's your entitlement. You own Nigeria. No, nobody owns Nigeria. We all own Nigeria. 218 millions of us all own Nigeria. So the little boy in the street, the little girl walking, the woman selling akara, everybody is a bona fide Nigerian citizen and should be treated accordingly. Should have a say in governance. Should have a say in how the wealth is shared. And that's what we're talking here today on Talking Drums. George, I think we need to pull up the curtain now.
Well, yes, we have to pull up the curtain, but I just want to say, special shout out to Chief Ngozi Chimamanda Adichie Odelor and one of his village. She's a chief right now. So special shout out to her, and then congratulations once again. Keep on fighting. We need you out there. Keep on doing what you're doing. Eventually our voices will echo upon the mountaintop and we will see the other side of prosperity in Nigeria. It will not continue like this. And I say, youths, you have been disenfranchised long enough. Your inheritance has been stolen long enough. Enough is enough. We're drawing a bloodline right now. Good governance in Nigeria or no governance whatsoever in Nigeria. That's where
we're in for good governance, and we're in for a new Nigeria, a better Nigeria,
a new Nigeria,
wonderful Nigeria.
No more compromising.
Thank you.
No more compromising.
So, viewers, this is it. My name is Mark Godwin Iweajunwa. I'm sitting in actually for our brother, our friend, our colleague, and co-host, Dr. Jumebi. He's somewhere in Africa, somewhere in a village, somewhere in a place where network can't really reach to. And George is there in Toronto. And we just talked with the drum. We just spoke some hard lines with our drums. So till we come your way next week, Tuesday again, same time, same channel, come down with us on Talking Drum. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.